Greetings fellow gamers, welcome back to the Onion channel. Today we are going to talk about how to use the new property in Schedule 1, the storage unit, to its fullest potential with my new 3-property crystal setup. So it's going to be the sweatshop, storage unit, and the bungalow. I'm going to take you a tour of all 3 properties, then we're going to stock up on the 3 different properties, and then we're going to let it run and see what kind of product we can produce. So here we are in the sweatshop, and here we have a 2-burner cook station with a large storage rack here, both of your lab ovens here, your 2 chemistry stations here, and another large storage rack here. So both of these lab ovens will end up delivering their product to this large storage rack, and that's where we will collect our product when it is completed. This is where the chemist will draw the supplies from. And here we have 2 shelves for some extra supplies. I threw in a couple of lights from the Blue Balls boutique. These are optional. I just like to do it to lighten the place up. I do a lot of my work at nighttime. So we'll set up the employees later off camera. And let's go over to the new area, the storage unit. And we have a very similar setup in here. So, 2 chemistry stations, 2 lab ovens, 2 large storage racks. You can always throw in some more here or somewhere to include for overflow, but I like to operate out of mainly the sweatshop. Okay, so once again off camera we'll set him up. It's very simple. All we're doing is just assigning him the stations and the bed. And then they will go the whole day cooking in the sweatshop and the new property, the storage unit, and we will be ferrying all the raw product over to the bungalow, which is just a huge mixing station and a huge packaging station. So here we are at the bungalow, and as you can see we have 2 chemists and 3 handlers. I've completely wiped the handlers' stations and routes because we're going to do that all in a moment after we stock up the bungalow. But using signs and lights from Blue Balls Boutique, once again, these are completely optional, but I find that they're very useful, especially with an 8-step mixing process. That's right. So, what's going to happen is we are going to deliver raw crystal meth into this shelf as product, and handlers will begin the process of loading the mixing station whilst other handlers have already loaded each mixing station. The chemists will start working from mixing station to mixing station, going from the beginning. Mixing station 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There's a shelf behind here, and that is where the chemist will deliver from here to here. And the handler will take it in here and use this brick press to turn it into a brick. Now, the product we are making, I'll go through the recipe as well in a moment as we stock up. But I just want to show you how valuable it is. It is the most valuable 8-step mixing process for crystal meth. Here I have onion juice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Onion juice, all caps, is the product. That's what I've named it. On the Schedule 1 mixing calculator, I think it's called like Optimum 8-step crystal. You can just filter by 8 ingredients and how much you can sell it for. We're selling 1 shard for $343, which is absolutely insane. So we're going to be working with this product, onion juice, and let's talk about the recipe it takes. And then we'll stock up the bungalow, and then we'll assign everybody, and then we will watch it cycle through and see how valuable this process is. So, starting with here, we're going motor oil, then kook, then paracetamol, gasoline, horse semen, kook, mega bean, and then finally batteries. So batteries will be here, mega beans will be here, kook will be here, and so on. Okay? We can go to the gas station anytime we want to stock up, so I'm just going to do that real quick. Okay, so there we go. We have paid our chemist. We have stocked the chemistry sets with 10 of each ingredient, and they are going to get cooking. Now we're going to leave them and go and do the same thing in the brand new location, the storage unit. And now we're going to pay our second chemist. And they are going to go ahead and get to work. Cooking up that crystal, baby. So, in the meantime, hopefully, you have more to do. You can pick up from dealers, you can launder your money, which is actually what I'm going to go do right now. But it will take a while for this system to start producing for you, but when it does, it is going to be the most valuable crystal setup that will propel you from the early game all the way into the late game and beyond. Okie dokie, so everything is stocked up, and I went and grabbed the first 2 stacks of product from our other businesses, the sweatshop and the storage unit. Now, that was the first cook. We stocked up, we did everything, and we got them started. So they should be producing twice this much in a full day's work. So like I said, it will take a couple of days for this packaging station to become fully cyclical. A couple of days for them to build up the product. Obviously there are only 1 chemist in each building, but it is fully automated. So let's go and organize everything here so that each and every employee knows exactly what they're doing as soon as we sleep. And when we sleep, there'll be money in the sweatshop and the storage units accounts. The cooks that's happening right there will be done, and then we should be coming out of tomorrow with a lot of product ready to go. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our first chemist and assign them to a bed. Each chemist will go on here, and then the stations, I'm going to do the 1st, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, and that's it. Because I don't want 1 chemist to be working the first 4, and then another chemist to be working the next 4. Grab the next chemist. Bed. I want them to be alternating just so that they are busier, to be honest. Not a whole lot of science behind it, I just like it. There we go. So, obviously, it goes without saying, threshold for each mixing station is at 10, and the destination of each mixing station goes to the next mixing station. Surely I don't have to explain that to you guys by now. The destination of this mixing station is this large storage rack here. Now, this gentleman, so this is, these 2 are kind of our packers, and this is our stacker. Alright? So this guy's main job is really going to be... Actually, we need to give him a bed first, don't we? This guy's main job is going to be keeping the mixing stations stocked up. Because what I found was that if people who are doing the packaging, as in the jars and the brick press, are also really busy stocking up the mixing stations, then 1 of each product type gets packaged more than the other. So we want to avoid that by getting 1 guy to do it all. So let's give him his bed. And let's do his routes. So he's going to start with motor oil to here. And then cook. Here. Horse. Come. I never know what to call it. To 5. Is that right? Horse come to 5? Whoop. Yeah. I should put these signs up higher. And that, I'm pretty sure, is all of his routes done. Right? These guys have a bit more of a sort of varied role. So I'm going to give this gentleman the brick press. Right? I'm going to give him this bed right here. And I just want to make sure, yeah, the brick press is going to right here. This is just a personal shelf I keep. I keep this here to stock up jars. Now this guy's routes are going to be as followed. The first thing he's going to do is put crystal here. That's raw crystal into the first mixing stations. The chemist will take it from there. Then, just so it's split evenly, he's going to do the next line in the thing. He's going to do kook. 6. He's going to do mega bean to 7. And that's it. He's also going to do, he's also going to do finished product to here. Okay? Our final gentleman will get this bed. He will get this packaging station. He will take product. This packaging station. No, he won't. Thank you, laundromat. He'll take jars to this packaging station. He's going to take batteries to the final one. Just so everybody's a little bit busy, right? Now, that's a good diversification of labor. I'm going to make sure all of these employees are paid. 1, 2. I'll pay him for 2 days. Because that's how long it's going to take to get this up and running. This is all ready to go, ready to start the next cook. So our homie here is going to get paid for the next 2 days. And this gentleman is also going to be paid. And look at that, it's the next day and things are springing to life. The motor oil is going onto the mixing station. The product is going onto the mixing station, meaning the chemists will spring into action soon. Yeah, and then if we go over to the sweatshop, let's just move over there now. Yeah, look at that, it's all here for the taking. So that's another cook. Now, if you want, you can kind of build up to this piecemeal. Or if you're still operating out of the motel, you can also be cooking crystal so that we can be producing as much crystal as possible. The only downside to this build is that one chemist in each area, like in the sweatshop and the storage unit, it just doesn't really produce enough crystal. If it was up to me, we wouldn't have 3 handlers, we'd have 2 handlers and 2 chemists. And there'd be a chemist cooking here somehow, but it's just too difficult to make work, unfortunately. So they are producing onion part 1, onion juice part 1. When that's done, it'll go here. So I will get back to you guys at the end of today, and we will see how we are doing as far as product is concerned. So I only want Gary to automatically grab product and bring it to here, because if you're playing the game properly, then most customers will be taken care of by your dealers who will have bricks and they can split all the product themselves. So what I would do is I would just grab 10 or a stack of product and chuck it on this shelf for Gary to take care of, or Brian, whatever his name is. So if you just take it and do this, there's no link bringing product to this shelf, so it's only manually if you just want a couple of jars. So this is just something I was doing. I am also cooking just to keep up production. You can really do as much of this as you want. If you're beginning to transition into coker production in the barn, for example, you can get a chemist or 2 in the barn to do this as well. I mean, the idea really is just using the bungalow as a mixing and packaging center and using any other properties you want for the raw creation of the product. Alrighty folks, so we've had a little bit of issues. I think it's mostly because we're on the beta server, because obviously this update isn't fully out yet, but things are running like absolute butter right now, because I've just changed the shape of these things. You might have saw Justin get stuck in the corner here, and yeah, now they're producing probably about 60 meth, so 3 stacks of meth per location. I'm actually going to unpackage one of these bricks and package it up as a jar. So in the sweatshop we have some product here. Everything is stocked up. There's no need to worry about that just yet. I keep forgetting that you don't put spaces between the tags. And this guy has another stack of meth for us. So, like I said, this is really all you're going to be doing until you can create a sort of coca manufacturing situation in the barn. And before you know it, you'll be in the late game and you'll have all the money you'll need. Also, I just did a couple of things there because, you know, they weren't going perhaps as fast as I wanted them to, so you can always do that as well. Now we have meth in every single mixing station, and things are being restocked as accordingly. So what I will do, guys, is I'm going to just unpackage the rest of this into jars. I'm going to take 8 jars and however many bricks we get by the end of today out into the world, sell them so that you guys can see the awesome power. Let's stick onion juice up for sale for $3.43, why not? I'll usually bump it up a little more. My personal production has stopped to an absolute grinding halt, and I'm going to get him to put some in baggies for me as well. So this guy asked for 1, I've bumped him up to 2 to grab 700, and I'm going to set it for the late night so we get the bonus. This guy's asked for 2, he's offering 810. I'm going to bump him up, see if I can bump him up to 4 here, and I'll give it to him a little bit under price. So that is serious money. From selling 6 onion juice, we should be on something like 2 grand just from 6 of that. This stuff is so strong, guys. I'm gonna get this stack turned into more baggies, I think, just so we have the option. And that's a brick for Brad as well. Alright, let's get her dealt to, and let's get away from the cops watching us. Another reason I always deal at night. Obviously, the curfew bonus, you get 20% tip. Oh, shit. It's Queso. Oh, he likes Jessie. I just dealt her drugs. That's great. And also, deals don't expire. There's Frank. A small deal of 640 turns into 700 easily. Another deal of 2 for 700 turns into... Oh shit, my vehicle is stuck. I didn't know he could do that for you. That's cool. So let's get 1, 2, 3, 4 in. 1,200 with a whopper tip. That goes up to 1,500. It turns them into steaming freaky aliens. Now, I actually don't have the last neighborhood unlocked on the save I'm playing on right now. So these are smaller spenders than we would be dealing with, obviously. So look at that. Selling 15 onion juices netted us 5 grand. That's not even a full brick, and obviously we're making a couple of bricks a day. Our dealers aren't able to sell a couple of bricks a day. Molly's only sold 4 of hers. If I'm here, I'll just help the chemist out because, you know, it is a decent amount of work for the chemist, and it just increases production time, excuse me. And obviously there's a space here because we've just started another process with whatever product we have. Look, we're really running dry, as you can see. But that's fine. That's the kind of thing that happens, and that's why, you know, the game isn't 100% autonomous. That's why the player is there to make sure all these little kinks get ironed out. So I'll see you guys at the end of the day, and we'll see how much money we make. A full bar of inventory, full stack, so that's 160 of something, will fully stock 1 large storage shelf. Okay, that's all our deals done for today. We got some more meth, and we're gonna go to sleep because that's the end of this experiment. I'm not playing the game, I'm just showing you a YouTube video. So let's see how well we did. 24 onion juice sold. We got 10 grand from all of that, and our dealers earned 12. That is a serious amount of money. Obviously, I'm pretty high level, so it's not the hugest amount of experience as well, because you don't get money for dealer sales, or you don't get experience, excuse me, for dealer sales. But yeah, and there you have it, gamers. I very much appreciate you for watching. Hopefully, you'll implement this build or some format of it, and it will slingshot your game into the late game and cocoa production in the barn and the warehouse. Thank you all very, very much for watching. Lots more content coming soon in Schedule 1 if you subscribe. Bye bye.